ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Cider Drinker Countdown and the top 10 cider producers of the year. If you've not checked out my previous video, I did the 2211, so the second lot of 10 best cider producers on the list for the year. So I would highly recommend pausing this video right now, checking that one out. I'll put it up as a card so you can go and check it out, because I explain the little caveats and everything that goes into this list. I won't go into more detail here because I'm sure you've either just clicked on this by accident or you've clicked it first or whatever. But yeah, definitely check that one out first and then come back here. But for those that already have, welcome to the top 10. So this is where the real, I was going to say meat and two veg comes in, but that's something completely different. But yeah, this is where the real crux of the cider producers come in. These are the tip-top, the best of the best. And for those that watched the first part, you will know that, well, I did mention that there were 2 new producers in the top 20, and they didn't appear in the 2211. So yes, 2 new producers have actually made it into the top 10 this year. Where have they been based? Well, we'll find out shortly, but until then, let's start things off with number 10. These guys were 8th last year. They've got an average rating of 8.5, and once again, it is not a UK-based cider producer. It is another New Zealand-based cider producer. It's not Peckhams, so the only other one that I have tried is Zephyr Cider Company. Again, mostly credit is due to Eric Bryan for this, because he kindly gifted a few of their range for me to try. But actually, one of my local bottle shops did actually have a couple of their ciders as well, including the Cursed Hopped one, which I reviewed 3 times, and all 3 times the video corrupted. So that's a real bummer, because I wasn't able to actually add that onto the rating, because, well, you know, the review doesn't actually exist. However, with that said, Zephyr are a really great cider company. God, they're Slack-McGirdle. I found out actually Slack-McGirdle is the name of a type of apple. I thought it was just a silly name they gave, but no, it's the name of an apple. And whew, man, that was something else, I could tell you that. And they also did, I can't remember the name of it, but it was essentially just a liquid apple pie cider, and it was just fantastic. It was a really great winter warmer, and as you can probably hopefully see on this screen as well, they do a lot of different things. They've even got an alcoholic ginger beer, but the one that intrigues me there is they've got a hopped cider, but they've also got a tea leaf infused cider. Gotta say, that's the first instance I've ever heard of a cider being infused with tea leaves. That sounds very interesting. Don't know if I'm going to get around to actually trying any more of their range, because again, they are based in New Zealand, so the other side of the world. But you never know in the future, I might be able to try some more out. But as I said, with the Peckhams Cider Company, any opportunity I can get to showcase cider producers that guys might not have ever heard of before because they're from another country, I will happily do it, especially if their ciders are fantastic, which Zephyr Cider Company's ciders are, most definitely are. So yes, coming in at the 10th spot is Zephyr Cider Company. Will they be there next year? We'll find out then, won't we? Alright, so 9th place is the first of the 2 new producers that have made it onto the list, and I'm very excited to talk about these guys because I've only recently been introduced to them, but I am very looking forward to trying out the rest of their range because they have been absolutely superb. So they have an average rating of 8.66. It is the Ascension Cider guys based in Sussex. Yeah, I just love everything about Ascension Cider so far. They are exclusively 330ml canned ciders. You can't get their ciders in any other format, well, apart from bag-in-box. But they don't do them in bottles, it's literally just 330ml cans. And the ones that I've tried so far have been just amazing. They are quite experimental. They mostly do infused and blended ciders, but the flavour combinations that they have done so far are so unlike anything else I've ever tried. For example, their shimmy, which is their sparkling pineapple and lemon wild cider. Sounds gross, sounds like it doesn't work, but let me tell you, it really does. Yeah, I mean, their purple haze, what is that one? That's their sparkling blackcurrant, and is that lemonade? blackcurrant and lemonade infused cider. I actually have a can of that in the drinks cabinet ready for a review in the future. And they actually do have a lot of ciders in their range. Their Sonic Titan, their I think it was 8.5 heavy cider. Man, that was definitely one of the biggest heavy hitters I've had for a long time, and it's a tribute to one of their favourite stoner metal bands, which I think is absolutely fantastic. So yeah, and again, I love the labelling as well. It's really eye-catching, and yeah, I'm just really excited and really looking forward to trying out more of these guys' range. I think I do have 3 more cans of their stuff in the drinks cabinet, so they're definitely going to change next year. But I mean, what a position to start off the year with. In 9th position with 8.66, it is Ascension Cider. Watch out for these guys, they're definitely going to go places. Right, 8th place. These guys were 7th last year. They have just dropped a place, but they still have an average rating of 8.77, which is absolutely superb. And I would imagine that these guys are going to hang around at the top 10 for a long time coming. It is the guys over at Bignose and Beardy. Don't know if you can see that. There we are. It's not the best picture quality, but there we are. The one thing that I really love about Bignose and Beardy ciders is just the vessel that they come in. These stubby little, almost like tiny milk bottle shaped bottles that their ciders come in, and they all come in that. You can't get them anywhere else in any other size, and I think that's just a really great draw. Their labelling, again, it's simplistic, but you can tell them apart, and all the ciders that I have tried so far from them have been just all completely different, all wacky, wild and weird, and just fantastic flavours as well. I'm going to say that some of their ciders are not going to be everyone's cups of tea. I've had some that have been quite sour, quite tart, but the back of the bottle does tell you what to expect from that particular cider. I love the fact that they also do, they're one of these ones that do like sort of like jokey titles for their bottles. So for example, like, you know, they've got Cheeky Mick, they've got Boar's Head, they've got a new release called Boar's Back, which I have a bottle of in the drinks cabinet ready to review. Yeah, there's just Cockhazy, there's just loads. They've got an absolutely ton of ciders that you can try. And the other drawing factor to this is they're all still. They don't do any sparkling ciders at all. They are all completely still ciders. I don't know many other cider companies that literally do just still ciders in bottles. I'm sure there are some out there, but yeah, these are one of the few that I know actually do it, especially in that size bottle as well. So they have got a lot of drawing attention with the way that they're presenting themselves, and rightly so, because as I said, they are a fantastic cider producer. They know what they're doing when they're making ciders, and yeah, I'm just really looking forward to trying out more of their range. I have got, I think it's 3 more in the drinks cabinet to review, so I mean, these guys are definitely going to change on the list next year, I would imagine. Is it going to be up? Is it going to be down? Who knows? But sitting very proudly in 8th position with 8.77 is Bignose and Beardy. Nice one, guys. Right, so the guys in 7th position, they were 6th last year. They've just dropped down a position with an average of 8.9. They are just shy of making a 9.0. But if you really like your strong ABV ciders, these guys are the ones to go for. It is Crones Cider Company. These guys have been on the list for quite a while now. It took a while for me to actually get them onto the list, but once they've gone on the list, they have basically been in the top 10 since they appeared on there. Sort of hovering around this area as well, but literally I don't think they do a cider below 7%. All their ciders are quite strong, so if you like that style of cider, then Crones is definitely one to go for. Their rum cask cider is probably one of the most potent, strongest ciders I've ever tried. It literally knocked my socks off. It was that strong. But you know what? It was really tasty as well. And I know that they've got quite a range of ciders as well. You can get them in 500ml bottles. You can also get them in 750ml bottles as well. And yeah, as I said, they are all very, very strong. So here showcasing is their original and their special reserve. They're both 7.4%. But they've got their, I think it's an Old Norfolk. As I say, they've got a rum cask as well, and they do just do traditional ciders. There's no infused ciders in their range at all. It is just all traditional apple ciders, some barrel aged, as I've said. But yeah, definitely, if you love your strong ciders, check out Crones. They're based in Norfolk, so yeah, they're not too far away. And I know they are a major frequenter for most beer festivals that I've been to. There's at least one or two of their range on the cider bar at any time. So yeah, definitely, if you've never tried them before, give them a go. And just be prepared, because they are going to completely blow you away with their strength if you're not used to it. So, yeah, 7th position with 8.9 is Crones Cider Company. So, 6th position. These guys were 5th last year. Again, they've just dropped a position, but they have essentially been on the list since day one. And I think you kind of know who it is, because it's the guys that basically got me into real cider with their Yarlington Mill. If you've been watching me since the beginning, you'll know who it is. In 5th place with an average score of 9.0, it is the almighty Gwatkin Cider Company. I've sung Gwatkin's praises year upon year. I just love Gwatkin ciders. As I said, their Yarlington Mill single variety is the cider that made me stand up and go, wow, this is what cider can taste like. And it completely changed my opinion on how cider can be. Because before then, it was mainly just stuff from the supermarkets, stuff you get on the shelves, and it's just a completely different world when you get into real cider territory. And as you can see from this picture, Gwatkin just has so many ciders and perries at his disposal. I mean, look at this lineup. Look, it just goes on and on and on and on. I have tried a fair amount of Gwatkin's range by now, but I know for a fact that there are still so many more that I have not tried yet. I've not tried not nearly enough of his perries. I really need to get onto that, but again, Essex is a bit of a grey area when it comes to ciders. I know that some of my local bottle shops have had his ciders in, so I will definitely keep my eye out for that. But I would say, for me personally, ones to keep your eyes out for are his Blakeney Red Perry, his Kingston Black, and obviously his Yarlington Mill. There's obviously going to be more that are going to be just as great. Now, I know that some people don't like his ciders because there is a very unique taste to it. I think I attribute it, and it sounds awful, I attribute it to like nail varnish remover, which sounds absolutely disgusting, but it works, and I don't know why. It just gives this really lovely sharpness to all of his ciders and perries, and I don't know, it just ticks all the right boxes for me. So for me personally, I really do highly recommend you go out, seek out and try Gwatkin ciders out. I'm pretty sure you can get a mixed case from his website, so I do highly recommend that you do that. But yes, sitting in at, I think it was 6th position, which it was, is Gwatkin with 9.0, and I can't see that changing anytime soon. Alright, we're in the top 5 now, and it is the second of the 2 new producers that have made it onto the list. So this is a very, very high position for a cider producer to come straight in the list at. But they do have an average rating of 9.0, but again, because they're new, I have placed them slightly above Gwatkin Cider Company. And wow, I am really glad I finally got the chance to try some of these guys' ciders out, because they've all been absolutely superb. It is the guys over at Dorset Nectar Cider Company. Again, as I said with Perry Cider Company, if we're doing a list of cider producers with the best labels, then Dorset Nectar are going to be definitely up there. I just love their labelling. It's just so eye-catching, and I just love all the little details that have gone into the labels. But the stuff inside is also just as fantastic. They've got a mix of traditional ciders, like blended ciders, and they've also got infused ciders as well, and both are just as superb as the other. Their Old Harry Rocks is one of my personal favourites, but their Top of the Hill was great as well. Their Honey Bubble, their honey infused cider, was absolutely fantastic. And I think the standout for my wife, because we had the opportunity to go and actually visit Dorset Nectar Cider Mill, I think it was a couple of years ago now, and I do highly recommend it because it's one of the best cider mills I've been to, and you can camp out there as well. So bring your sleeping bags and definitely do that because it's just such a lovely location. But I think the standout for her was their damson infused cider. Yeah, I can definitely see why that was one of her favourites, because it was just a really lovely tasting and refreshing infused cider for sure. So yeah, I can't sing Dorset Nectar's praises enough. I think it's they're based in near Bridport. I could get that wrong. But yeah, definitely keep your eyes out for Dorset Nectar. They are a fantastic cider company and very well deserving, coming straight in at 5th position with an average of 9.0. They might change, I'm not sure, because I said I bought some ciders from the bottle shop, but I've now run out of them, but I know they do have more range to try. So watch this space. Dorset Nectar will most likely, hopefully, change if I can get some of their range, but 5th position is not a bad position at all, so well done Dorset Nectar. Okay, so with the 2 new producers out of the way, that leaves the top 4 being producers that have been on the list for a fair while. So in 4th position, I did actually say last time that there was only 1 non-mover. That's a lie, because actually, well, you'll see, but in 4th position, these guys were 4th last year. They have an average of 9.05 and they've basically been on the list essentially since day 1. It is, and I've mentioned them so many times before, it is Dunkertons Cider Company. Now, the thing about Dunkertons Cider Company though is that I actually do have 2 more of their range to try. And the reason that these guys have not really been moving at all is because I thought I tried all of their range. But when I did my cider course in Gloucester, I took a little detour to Dunkertons Cider Mill to have a little look around. And, well, kind of excited because, yeah, I actually got recognised there. Yes, recognition! Oh, thank you so much, guys. That was, I mean, very, very humbled that, that I was recognised there. But anyway, besides the point, not blowing my own trumpet or anything, but really lovely guys over at the Dunkertons Cider Mill, and their ciders are just superb. Gwatkin Mill was the first cider that made me stand up and realise what real cider was like, and Dunkerton's Black Fox was the cider that solidified that for me. You can get it in your local Waitrose stores right now, and sometimes you can get their dry cider as well. And I would definitely highly recommend that you do so because it's one of my favourite ciders ever. If I ever get the chance to try their Black Fox out, I will definitely do it. But I'm very gracious that I've been managed to try pretty much all their range. They've got so many different single variety ciders now. They've got their Court Royal, which is one of the sort of their limited releases, but they've got their Browns, the Breakwell Seedling, their limited release Kingston Black when they do it once per year. But as I said, I have actually got 2 more of their range to try. I've got a bottle and a can in the drinks cabinet ready to review. So Dunkertons will most likely shift next year when I get around to trying it. But the question is, are they going to go up or are they going to go down? Because as you've already seen, there is some very stiff competition with those other producers. So yeah, watch this space. But in 4th position with 9.05 is Dunkertons Cider Company. Well done, guys. Alright, the top 3, here we go. So 3rd position, this guy was 3rd last year, so he has not moved as well, with an average of 9.12. It is Worleys Cider Company. I've not managed to try Worleys ciders or any more new Worleys ciders for a little while now, and that's probably why they've not really moved around the list. But let's be honest, 3rd position out of over 50 cider producers that I've done over the years is a fantastic achievement. Worleys has been on the list for a fair few years now, and yeah, just amazing ciders, just absolutely superb ciders. I'm going to admit, it took me a little while to get used to the new rebranding that they've done with their ciders, because they didn't look like this to begin with, and I personally thought that they looked better originally. But I don't know. I'm kind of growing on the new labels. They're Red Hen. They're They're Beatnik Billy. They're Somerset Keeved cider, which apparently you can get in 500ml bottles, but I managed to try in 750ml because it was sort of like a limited release at the time, but looks like it's part of their core range now. They're all just amazing ciders, and yeah, I couldn't pick a favourite out of them because they're all just as great as each other. I can't see Worleys cider going below the top 3 for a long time, unless another amazing cider producer comes along and knocks them off the spot. But they've basically been 3rd position since they made the list, basically. So yeah, Worleys definitely very well deserved of that position, and if you've never tried them, stop what you're doing now, go on their website and order a mixed case off them, because it is definitely worth it. So 9.12, 3rd position is Worleys. Well done. Okay, so this is where we find out if the top spot has been moved. So 2nd position, these guys were 2nd last year with an average of 9.33. It is Burrow Hill Cider Company. Yeah, these guys held the top spot for, I think it was 3 or 4 years, because their ciders are essentially as close to perfection as I have tried. It's just a real shame that they don't really frequent social media as much as some of the other producers, because, well, I can't stop singing their praises enough, and I wish they would. Wish they would know about it, but I'm sure they do, because they're making the cider, aren't they? But anyway, yes, Burrow Hill. It took me a long time to actually get these guys on the list. I did actually try one of their ciders many years ago, and it was only recently that I managed to get a hold of a couple of their bottles. And, oh, let me tell you, that their ciders are just chef's kiss. Just as close to perfection as you can possibly get. Their cider bus, their Somerset cider as well. They're all just absolutely fantastic. I know that there is a couple more of their range that I've not tried yet, and they're one of the few that actually dabble into cider brandy territory as well. I'm really intrigued to try them, but unfortunately their bottles of cider brandy are quite pricey, so I've not managed to actually try any of them. I did try their Pomo when the Euston Cider Tap was originally opened. I went there and they had Burrow Hill's Pomo there. I tried that, and it was just liquid velvet just going down the throat. It was just superb. But obviously it's not cider, so it doesn't make the list at all. But yes, I know that there is definitely still more of Burrow Hill's range to try. But I mean, you can't get much higher than 9.33? Yeah, 9.3. You can't get much higher than that. However, one producer has managed to do it. But for now, 9.33 in 2nd place is Burrow Hill Cider Company. Which means that the top spot has not changed since last year. So if you watched last year's video, you know who the #1 spot is. And, well, basically this rating cannot be beaten, because it's about the highest rating that I give, because if you watch my reviews, you know that 9.5 is the highest rating that I give. So I suppose if you want to class it as a perfect 10, you can do. But the top spot with an average score of 9.5, it is Crafty Nectar Cider Company. Yeah, what can I say? I mean, 9.5, it's, if you want to call it perfection, do so. I know that that's one of the things that I do differently. I never give perfect 10s, because someone's 10 could be someone else's 1, so it's very subjective doing that. So if you want to class my 9.5 as a 10, then feel free to do so. It's the highest rating I'm ever going to give, and, well, this is the highest rating that a cider producer can possibly get on the cider producers list. So it's gonna take a lot of beating to knock Crafty Nectar off the top spot. What can I say? every single one of their ciders have just worked for me. They just really have. Their number 7, their number 8, and their number 9 are just amazing. And the great thing is, they're ciders that were basically made by us guys. They basically went online and they said, right, how do you like your cider? The people responded, and they made a cider based on people's recommendations. And, well, you can't get much better than that, can you? You know, because, well, we the people have made these ciders technically, even though we technically haven't. So yeah, the number 7 is their traditional cider, and just the flavours, the mouthfeel, the finish, just everything about it is just superb, absolutely amazing. If I ever see Crafty Nectar's number 7 in a pub or a bar, I don't care what else is on the menu, I just go for that straight away because it is just that damn good. Their number 8 was a little bit of a trepidation for me because it was it's a rhubarb infused cider, and I think, oh, here we go, it's just going to be common as muck, it's going to go downhill. But no, it's pretty much the best rhubarb infused cider I have ever tasted. And then their number 9, which is their blackberry and hibiscus infused cider, which is a very interesting combination, and it was like liquid blackberry cheesecake in the mouth. It was just absolutely superb. I think it was a collaboration with Once Upon a Tree. I could have got that wrong. That's another producer that is a great producer, but I've just not managed to try many of their range at the moment. I know they do have some big bottle limited releases that they've been doing now, and they also have a low alcohol cider that I've yet to review, so there is potential for Crafty Nectar's rating to change, but I would imagine that is probably the only way that Crafty Nectar is going to be knocked off the top spot, is by me trying another one of their range. Or unless something else happens and, heaven forbid, Crafty Nectar goes under and they don't do cider anymore. But anyway, hopefully that's not going to be the case. So yeah, for the second year in a row, Crafty Nectar have taken the top spot with an average of 9.5. Is there going to be anyone out there that's going to beat Crafty Nectar? Is there a cider that they do that isn't basically as close to perfection as possible? Who knows? It all depends on if I can get round to trying theirs, trying the rest of their range out, and it all depends on if there's another company out there that does ciders just as amazing as these guys. So for now, well done guys over at Crafty Nectar, very well deserved on the top spot, and well, we will have to wait until 2023 to see if that changes, but that's jump cut because I just went into an absolute coughing fit there. So yeah, it's a good job it is the end of the video, otherwise well, my throat probably would have packed in. But yes, thank you very, very much for joining in with this. Has your favourite producer made the list? Is there a producer that hasn't made the list and they need to be made aware of? Please let me know in the comments below. I do always love hearing your views and opinions. What I'll also do is, I know that there are a couple of guys that are interested in the median and the mode ratings as well, so I will pop them in the description below so you can have a look and see if the ratings change based on that. But for now, that is it, and this is the final video that you will see in this place. So the next video will be in our brand spanking new home. I don't know when that's going to be, so it will most definitely be in the new year. So for now, I wish you all a very happy Christmas and a fantastic new year, and hopefully 2023 will be a really great year for us all. So until then, take care, and I'll see you next time.